All my life, I grew up skinny, but I always had this desire to want to be in shape, to want to have muscles, right? To want to have an aesthetic physique. But it wasn't until literally about 2 months ago that things actually started to change and improve with my physique. And it was for one specific reason that I saw the improvement, and it was simply shifting my identity to the version of myself who could actually build that aesthetic physique. Because don't get me wrong, I've had periods of time where I was in the gym, where I thought my physique was presentable, where I thought I was, toned up and had a decent physique, but it was honestly just skinny, right? It was not the physique that I knew that I could truly build. And I know that you're in a similar position, right? You don't feel as masculine and as confident as you know you can because you don't like what you see in the mirror. Because when you put a shirt on, it blows in the wind, the sleeves blow in the wind. You don't like that because you've honestly gone to the gym 5 to 6 times a week. You feel like you're training hard. You feel like you're eating enough, but every time you step on a scale or every time you look in the mirror, you still do not see improvements. If anything, you're losing progress. And you're always asking, okay, what do I need to do? Because it seems like I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do, but I still don't get the results that I want. So before we talk about what I actually did to improve my physique, I'm gonna talk about on a physical level, I'm gonna talk about the mindset behind building my physique, right? Because last year I was 156 pounds. 156. Right now I'm sitting at about 172. And there's a very important reason as to why this happened. So the first thing that I did was literally shift my identity. This is very important because if you don't catch this, you are still gonna go to the gym 5 to 6 times a week, feel like you're eating enough, and you're still going to look skinny. You're still gonna look like a walking stick when you walk and look into the mirror, when you go around other places, right? So to shift your identity to the version of yourself who can become 170, 180, 175, 190, 200, whatever the number is that you want to get to become that version of yourself, you have to already embody that, right? So my mindset when I go to the gym, because my goal is not 172, my goal is 180 right now. This is my first goal. Then once I hit 180, the next goal is going to be 200, right? But the mindset that I'm approaching fitness with right now is I'm already the 180-pound version of myself. What does that mean? When I go to the gym, since I already have that identity, I train like that version of myself. Because when I was going to the gym 5 to 6 times a week, I was making less progress than I am now going 3 to 4 times a week. And you may be asking, like, that doesn't even make any sense. How do you make more progress doing less work? But the thing about it is, I'm doing twice as much work in 3 to 4 days than I was going 5 to 6 days. And this is another very important thing that you have to understand. I don't care what you say, you are not eating enough food. For the longest time, I thought that I was eating enough food because I got this big appetite and all this different stuff, right? I was making all these excuses and coping that, oh, I know I'm eating enough food. You're not. Trust me, you are not eating enough food, right? I didn't really understand how important nutrition was when it came down to the physique. So back to the identity. You are in overconsumption mode right now, looking for the perfect method, looking for the perfect workout routine. You're following all these different fitness influencers. You're trying all these different workout splits. And this is why you don't see progress, because you can't stick with one routine, one thing for at least a month to see if it actually works before you start switching stuff up. Like literally, you go to the gym on Monday with a workout split. You want to do push-pull legs on Monday. By the time it's Wednesday or Thursday, you're trying to do an upper lower split, right? You may not even know what that means. You may be in a phase right now where you're just going to the gym lifting the weight. But let's say, okay, you've built up a little bit of experience in the gym, but you're still not seeing the progress. You're like, what am I doing wrong? Right? You feel like every week that you go in there, you're lifting heavier weight, but you're still not seeing the scale go up. You're still not seeing any more new muscles, new veins when you look in the mirror. So it's like, what am I doing wrong? Another thing that I had to realize is the ego lifting does absolutely nothing for you other than help you get injured faster, right? So you have to put your ego to the side, accept it. You are 156, you are 150, right? Less, you're 130, 140. So at the end of the day, you have to understand that you trying to go in there and lift the heaviest weight in the gym is making you look stupid. Like you were not impressing anybody, you were not fooling anybody. You were about to hurt yourself, right? If you were doing a bicep curl, you should not feel it more in your shoulder than in your bicep because you're trying to curl a 50 pounder when you really need to have a 35 pounder in your hand. You need to stop trying to be in a rush to bench 225 and just work with where you at. Maximize 135, right? Build up to 175 before you try to rush and put 245 plates on each side. Stop being in a rush. Another thing, you are not training till failure. You are focused on these 3 sets of 10, 4 sets of 10, right? 3 sets of 12. This is what you focused on. Instead of each set is to failure, right? Every rep you are focusing on the mind muscle connection, because I'm up literally what, 7 to 10 pounds in about a month and a half. And that is not on accident. But I just really started prioritizing my physique about 2 months ago. So I accepted the identity of I'm already going to embody the traits of the 180 pound version of myself. What this means is if I was already 180 pounds, how would I be training to get to 200 pounds? See, I've already accepted being 180. Like the way that I train, the way that I eat, I'm going to be at 180 without a doubt. So I'm already thinking like, okay, well, what needs to improve based on what I'm doing now so that I can get to 200 pounds? The scale just has to catch up. The physique, the extra weight just has to catch up. I'm already there mentally. So it's impossible for me to not get there. That's the first thing that you have to accept, right? Stop looking at the 180 and putting it on a pedestal. Stop putting it above you. Stop putting the, oh, I want to get to 225. Stop putting that above you. Just accept it. It comes over time. Bro, the gym is not a overnight type of thing. It's not a 1 month type of thing. Yeah, you can have a lot of gains. This is the best time being somebody that's skinny. Like I can't speak for somebody who's fat and you're trying to slim down and build muscle. I don't know what that's like, bro. I've always been skinny. So I know what it's like to be able to go from skinny to tone to, building muscle and actually having yourself realize that, okay, what I'm doing is working, right? Having other people acknowledge that it looks like you've been in the gym. How is it that you go to the gym 5 to 6 times a week? Nobody says anything. Nobody sees any improvements, right? That's a problem. So by accepting the identity of the version of yourself who can already be at that weight, who's already, that has that aesthetic build, that puts you into a certain perspective. You ask different questions. Instead of looking at stuff like, oh, it's so difficult. You look at it like, okay, well, if I want to get to this level, this is the standard of how I need to work out. This is the standard of what I need to eat, right? That's what you got to accept, because right now you're probably in the mindset of going to the gym when you feel like it, not being consistent, not tracking what works, not tracking your progress. You've been lifting the same amount of weight for 3 weeks in a row, wondering why you haven't seen any improvements in the scale. You have to implement progressive overload as well, right? You want to increase all your weight by 2.5 to 5 pounds every week, or try to go up at least 3 to 5 reps every week if you're going to stay at the same weight. You have to be doing this. You have to be tracking this. So each week that you understand that you are trying to lift heavier weights or trying to do more reps with the same weight that you're working on right now so that you can build more muscle, build more strength. You can't just go in there and finesse it, right? It's enough information online for you to at least have a workout plan that you can follow every single week. You can do that with ChatGPT. Type in your height, your weight, where you at right now, what your goals is, what type of gym equipment you got access to, and literally have ChatGPT craft you a workout plan. It's literally that simple. You can do the same thing with a diet plan. Literally that simple. But you have to have already accepted that this is the route that you're going to take. Otherwise, you're going to fall off. You have to be focused on the daily inputs, not what you want to see on the scale. I'm not in a rush to see 180. I know that it's coming, so I'm not trying to rush it. Once you accept it and you can embody it, you're not going to be in a rush. So since I'm at 172, I'm not, oh man, I'm 8 pounds away. It does not matter. Like, I don't care if I woke up tomorrow, the scale said 180. It's not going to change the daily inputs, because what I'm focused on is the daily inputs, right? If I don't complete the daily inputs, the weekly inputs, the scale is not going to improve. So that does not matter. If I don't complete the daily inputs, the weekly inputs, when I look into the mirror, I'm not going to look any bigger. But by focusing on the identity, I can execute properly. I don't have to worry about how I feel. I know that if I want to get the results, then it doesn't matter how I feel. I got to go get this work in. Doesn't matter if I'm full, right? Or if I'm tired. If I know that I still got to get these meals in, if I know that I still got to drink this protein shake, then that's what I'm going to do. Because I've already embodied that identity. I embodied that identity every single day. So I show up as that version of myself. Reality has to catch up. The scale just has to catch up. But I'm already there internally, so I can move accordingly. So that's the identity. You have to already accept it as fact that you are going to be 180 pounds, that you can't put on 10 or 20 pounds of muscle. Don't put a timeline on it. You can use that as a base layer goal, right? In the next 3 months, I want to put on 15 pounds of muscle, right? That could be a base layer goal for you. It could take a little bit longer. It could take less, but that's a base layer, right? So even if you don't hit it in 3 months, you probably put on 12. You probably put on 13. That's still progress, right? Or better yet, you could put on 20 in the 3 months. But if you don't focus on the inputs, that's impossible. So focusing on the identity is the most important thing, because this is what's going to keep you consistent. This is what's going to keep you disciplined. And this is what's going to help you do more than what you've been doing now, right? So let's talk about the nutrition for a little bit. I don't track my macros. I'm actually about to start doing that with this upcoming week's meal plan that I'm about to implement. So I'll be able to probably tell you in the future actual meals that you can eat, actual macros and all that different type of stuff, so that you can know what you want to get at. But what I'm working towards right now is anywhere from about 3,000 to 3,300 calories and 200 grams of protein. So that's the goals that I'm working towards, that I'm going to implement with the meals that I'm working with this following week. So once I have a base layer of meals that can get me those nutrients, I just rinse and repeat. Like, I'm not trying to, reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to have 5 or 6, 7 different meals that I'm eating. Like, I'll literally eat the same meals every single week. Because this is another thing, bro. You're a full-grown man. Stop looking at food for the taste, right? I know that you want the McDonald's burger. I know that you want to eat Chick-fil-A every single day. I know that you want everything that look good. All the grease, right? I know you want all your different little sauces. Stop looking at food like that. Food is fuel, right? Is it going to help you get to the calories? Is it going to help you get to the protein? Okay? That's all that matters, right? It's not about how good it tastes, all this different stuff. If you're hungry or not, none of that matters. When it's time to eat the food, eat it. Because you're not eating enough, so you have to understand that you're going to have to eat a lot more than what you used to, but it doesn't really take that long to, adapt. Because if you already adopted the identity, this is normal. This is going to be the new standard, right? So I don't think about, oh, I'm full, I don't feel like eating this, oh, I'm tired. I just get it done. Like, my appetite didn't have to do that much adjusting, because I literally already embodied the identity. I knew I was going to have to eat a little bit more, so be it. But another important aspect of eating more is literally drinking your calories. If you get a mass gainer shake, right, and you trying to get in 3,000 calories a day, you can almost get half that in one mass gainer shake. The mass gainer shake that I drink right now is 1,280 calories, 52 grams of protein. You cannot beat that, bro. So literally, if you drink that once a day and then still eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you are going to be at about 3,000 calories per day. But like I said, once I get the meals, the macronutrients, I'll put y'all on game. So stay on the lookout for that. Put it in the comments, DM me on Instagram if you need that. But I'll have it by the end of the week. But that's another important part, bro. Nutrition. Like, what I do is I eat clean 5 to 6 days a week, right? There may be, so I only have like 1 to 2 cheat meals a week. I really be shooting for 1 cheat meal a week, like on Saturday. But for the most part, bro, 1 to 2 cheat meals a week. But Monday through Friday, I'm eating clean. I'm eating meal prep, right? Chicken, rice, broccoli. Chicken, potatoes, broccoli. Fish, potatoes, broccoli, right? Chipotle bowl. Ground turkey, rice, beans, cheese, corn, right? This is what I'm eating Monday through Friday every single day, every single week. Rinse and repeat. Find the meals that I like that taste good. Boom, I can eat it over and over and over again. I ain't got to worry about it. More importantly, my girl do all the cooking for me, so that's taking even more stuff off the plate that I don't got to worry about. Now, if you got to cook your own meals, that's tough. Find what you like, get in the kitchen, get it going. But more importantly, bro, once you have the identity, then you start to look for the meals. Once you start to actually get in the process of developing your meals, see, this will kind of speed the process up for you, so you can probably see faster gains than I did. But don't just get in the habit of like eating more, drinking your shakes every single day, and then skip like tracking the calories to know what you're doing, right? Before you can get to the fake, because I'm not going to be somebody who tells you like you have to live by this law of tracking calories. I've tracked calories probably twice in my life. So the mindset that I'm using, the logic that I'm using is I'm going to find meals that I already eat, figure out the macronutrients, see if I need to add more to it, or if I'm already good, add in my shake that I drink every single day and see where that gives me. Because like I said, I'm looking for 3,000 to about 3,300 calories, about 200 grams of protein. I'm not breaking down carbs and fats, and I'm honestly don't care that much. If I see the calories is hit, the protein is hit, then honestly, I'm good. I've seen the weight go 7 pounds in a month. I'm doing something right? Obviously, as I continue to progress, this will probably change my mindset, my approach to this. But as of right now, that's what I'm doing. So you want to work in the right meals, eating a clean diet, right? Nutrient-dense foods. None of this processed stuff. You want to eat clean every single day. I seen somewhere on YouTube videos like it say, whatever it say on the front, it needs to say that on the back of the ingredients. Like none of these hot Cheetos and chips and candy. When you look in the ingredients, it say blue 40 and red 2 and all that different stuff. You don't need all that, bro. You need real nutrients, non-GMO. You need natural stuff, because Whole foods, that's what it is. Whole foods is what you need to be eating. Whole foods keeps you satiated. What that means is you are fuller, longer. You ever wonder why you can eat McDonald's, eat a Big Mac, large fry, and a Coke? An hour and a half later, you hungry again? Because none of that, all that stuff is processed. That's not a real burger. That's armadillo, right? All that stuff is frozen and processed. So all that stuff is trash. It's not good for you. So you instantly have to go to the bathroom. You get that right out of your system. Boom. Hour and a half later, 2 hours later, you're back hungry. But if you eat a steak, potatoes, some broccoli, chicken, rice, broccoli, right? That's going to keep you fuller way longer because it's whole foods. It's natural. It's nutrient dense. So to get you the nutrients that you need, and it'll keep you full for a longer period of time. This is another reason why I say you want to mix in the shake, right? Because if you mix it, if you're eating whole foods, you'll be fuller longer. So it may make it a little bit more difficult for you to eat as much as you need to eat. But once you mix in that masculine shake, bro, it takes so much weight off the table because it knock off so many of your nutrients that you need to hit, right? You might not even need to get to 3,000 calories a day. I think that the way that you want to calculate it is do your dream or your desired weight times 15. I think that's how you want to calculate your calories that you need, right? I'm a little bit over it. Like I'm skipping past 180. Like I think what I eat right now, I'm already on pace to be going to 180. So I'm treating it like 200. That's why I said 200 grams of protein. And I think like, let's do the calculator right now. Calculator, boom. So if I want to get to 200 pounds times 15, that's literally 3,000 calories. Right? So this is what I said. I'm trying to get between 3,000 and 3,300. So take your body weight. So if you 165, you want to do times, well, not 165, you want to do your dream weight, right? So if you 165 right now, 156 right now, like I was, you want to get to 180, 180 times 15, 2,700 calories. And like I said, with the mass gainer shake that I drink right now. So let's say your goal is 2,700 calories. You're going to do some math right now. So if you only need 2,700 calories per day, the mass gainer shake gives you 1,280. You literally only need 1,420. Let's factor in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So divide that 1,420 that you got left, divide it by 3, because I say you eat 3 meals a day, 1 shake. Divided by 3. That's literally 473.3 calories for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. Now, if you look up meals, it's gonna be pretty easy for you to get almost 475 calories per meal, right? And the thing about protein is you want to be in a surplus of about 1.2 to about 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. I would say, honestly, eat everything in terms of your desired weight, right? So if you are 156 right now, you want to get to 180, eat 180 grams of protein. Now, you got the mindset, you got the identity down. So you think that you know that you're a person who's going to reach this weight. You got the meals down. You understand that you don't eat enough. You need to start eating more. And you're going to drink your calories too. And you need to eat whole foods, cheat meals on the weekend. I don't eat clean 7 days a week. Right, what did I just have yesterday? I had Chick-fil-A yesterday, spicy chicken sandwich. It was good. Now let's actually get into the gym. See, this is the mistake because I used to be in the gym, bro, 5 to 6 days a week, thinking that I'm really in there doing something. I'm just going through the motions. If you see how I trained last year versus how I train now, you would think that I probably got cloned, because what I do now is so much more intense than what I did a year ago, bro. It does not make any sense. It's a drastic difference. Get rid of this 3 sets of 10. Get rid of this 4 sets of 12. Get rid of all that, bro. Everything is still failure. Everything, right? But take that with a grain of salt. So I'm not going to go through my entire training split. I'll probably do a whole separate video for that. If y'all want to see like more fitness content, stuff like that, then just drop that in the comments down below. If you want to see like my physique progress, go on my Instagram and look at that. I was doing a 4-day upper lower split. So like upper Monday, Tuesday was lower, take a break on Wednesday, and then upper lower Thursday, Friday. Now I'm doing a 3-day upper lower split, which is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'm going to start that literally next week. We're going to see, right? Just to basically work less, but increase the intensity to see if I'm still, making progress with that 3 days or if I can sustain going back up to 4. But the premise of this split right here is to like maximize intensity, but also maximize recovery. Because if you're training super hard, you need to be recovering super hard as well. Because what you got to understand and realize is you're not getting bigger while you're like working out, right? This is when you're tearing down a muscle. So you get bigger in your sleep because that's when the muscle rebuilds and it rebuilds stronger, it rebuilds bigger, right? So this is why you need to maximize recovery. This is why you need to get your sleep. You can't be going to the gym 3 to 4 to 5 days a week and you only getting 3 to 4 hours of sleep. You're not going to get bigger because you're not fully recovering, bro. Right? Because initially, probably in the beginning, you're going to be sore a little bit, stuff like that. So you need to maximize your recovery. You need to be stretched. You need to be hydrated. You need to make sure that your nutrients are on point. You need to make sure that you're getting good sleep. All that stuff matters. You need to make sure that you're taking your supplements. Also, take creatine. I almost forgot. That's the most important thing. Take 5 grams of creatine every single day. I'm on that every single day. I'm not missing, right? Just don't put it in your water. Be a man. Don't put it in your water and shake it up. Dry scoop the creatine, wash it down with some water, bro. To get it done, whatever. It don't even have flavor. Be a man. So example, when I do incline bench, I'll probably only get 4 to 6 reps done. Maybe even 3 to 6 reps done because I'm training to a failure. I'll do a warm-up set. So I'll just put 245s on each side. Boom. I'll just warm up. I'll probably hit 12 to 15 reps. Honestly, that's just a working set. I'm probably not hitting that to a failure. I know, boom, 45. Boom, then I'll put a 45 and I'll put a 25 on top of them 45s on each side. Boom, I'll rep that out to a failure. Boom, then I'll hit my max set, which is probably right now. I'll add probably 15 more pounds to each side, whatever that is, right? We on Smith machine, so you can do the math yourself. And then I'll probably rep that out for about 3 to 6 reps. Next week, I'll add 2.5 more pounds to that. Rep that out till failure. I'm not trying to get to a specific number. I am trying to get to failure. So sometimes it might be 4 reps, right? Sometimes it might be 3 reps. Sometimes it might be 6 reps. But if I get past 6, if I realize, okay, boom, 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 I'm on pace to hit 8 reps, I'm gonna increase the weight because obviously the window that I want to stay in is 3 to 6 because that's like failure reps, right? Because obviously if I can get between 8 to 10, I can go up in the weight. So I'm gonna make sure that I stay between 3 and 6 because that's putting the most stress on the muscle. That's tearing it down the most with what I can actually sustain. Now, this is also gonna destroy your ego too because you don't want to try to go too heavy, do too much. When you're training to failure, you need to make sure that you are being very strategic about what you're doing so you don't hurt yourself. With stuff like bench press and squats, all that type of stuff. Anything else, you pretty much straight. You can just drop the weight or whatever. But intensity is key. It's not about how many reps you're doing, how many sets you're doing. It's about how intense your workouts are, how fatigued you can make the muscles, how much stress you are putting on the specific muscle groups that you're working. This is why I tell you, this is what you want to do because you don't want to be rushing through the process, right? Like, for example, if we're doing incline bench again, you want to get the weight up, you want to get it off the rack, you want to bring it down like 3 seconds, boom, pause, boom, push up. 2 to 3 seconds down, boom, push up. This is what you want to do. You want to control the weight. This is going to stop you from ego lifting because if you just, doing all this, that's more shoulders than chest. So you want to control it down, push up. This is what you want to do. I'll throw some pictures in of videos in of my physique, right? I'll be in the gym by myself, so I don't really record no content. I'll be in there at 5 a.m. If nobody's in there, this is the perfect time for me. But anyways, this is basically the premise of how you want to approach your physique and your training. I am on pace to hit 180 in the next few weeks. Like I said, because I know the one thing that's holding me back is I need to actually document my meals and make sure that I'm getting that 3,000 or 3,300 calories and actually getting 200 grams of protein because my training can definitely improve, but my training is super, super intense. So, I'm pretty satisfied with my training. The only really intense thing that I need to improve on kind of more so is like my legs. But even I'm seeing improvements in my legs. My legs are my lagging body part, bro. Super, super lagging body part. But I'm even seeing improvements in that, in my quads and whatnot. So like, I know that everything I'm doing is working. I'm just like, how can I scale up? How can I do more? How can I, push even harder? So that's what you got to basically implement if you want to understand the importance of your physique. Because what I'll tell you is my confidence has shot through the roof. Even though I'm not satisfied with my gains, I've seen the progress. So it's like, I can't help but notice it, right? I can't help but appreciate the work that I've put in. But you have to understand that this translates to other areas of your life. Like I look at okay, if I can go this hard in the gym, if I can train to a failure in the gym, then I can go as hard as possible in all areas of life towards all of my goals, right? I got to go all in on my financial goals, all in on my spiritual goals, all in on my relationship with God, right? Because the body's a temple. So the body's, this ain't just for show or whatever the case may be for a hobby. Like the body's literally a temple. So it's honestly your due diligence as a man of God to be in shape. Like you being skinny, pencil stick, walking stick, is literally unacceptable in the eyes of God. I'm gonna just be the one to say it. So you want to make sure that your physique is on point, because your confidence is gonna be through the roof. Your discipline is going to extend. It's gonna increase. It's gonna improve. Your mindset is gonna improve, because you have to get to a certain place in your mind to push through, to push that weight, to push past failure, to push past you being tired. When it's leg day and you feel like your whole body's gonna just collapse when you on that last set of squats, or that last set of leg extensions, or that last set of Bulgarian split squats. You on that, you feel like you ain't got no gas in the tank. Your legs is literally shaking. You finna fall over literally, but you push through. Mind over matter. You can be tired when you done. You can think about how tired you is when you done. You can think about how hard it is when you done. Pause. But this is the premise of realizing how important your physique is. Last year, bro, 156. And what's crazy is my ego was through the roof. I thought I was doing something with 156. You got to understand that if you got a six pack right now and you 156, you're supposed to have a six pack. Just because your muscles is toned up does not mean that you don't mean that you're doing something. Look at that scale and see, has your weight increased over the last month? Can anybody notice that you are in the gym without seeing you physically there? That's the biggest indicator. I got some of my coworkers at work like, bro, you been in the gym. I can tell you getting bigger, bro. That's the proof right there. Like, I shouldn't be the only one to see my gains, right? But when I got some of my coworkers that I'm cool with that's telling me like, bro, you know, I can see you've been in the gym. The proof is in the pudding. It speaks for itself. When I step on the scale and I see that it's increasing, that reinforces the work to make me want to keep going harder. But I've already accepted the identity, so I knew that this was coming, and I don't get comfortable, right? Once I get to 180, I'll probably will barely enjoy it, because it's like I'm already thinking about 200 pounds. You get what I'm saying? So of course I'll appreciate it because of the work that it took, but I already have that identity, so it's supposed to happen, right? I'm already there. The scale just got to catch up. The physique just got to catch up. But the identity is already there. So if you can embody the identity, if you can maximize the nutrition, if you can go all in on the training, if you can maximize the recovery, right? And if you track the progressive overload, you will see that scale go up. You will see yourself get stronger in the gym. You will see the weight that you are lifting increase. But you have to start with the identity. Otherwise, you're going to be inconsistent. You're going to fall off. And you're going to be mad at yourself because you're still going to be going to the gym, but you ain't going to be seeing no progress. You have to have a strategic approach with this. So once you have that dialed in, you can literally rinse and repeat. Once you find the system that works, once you find the split that works, once you find the meals that you like, that you can rinse and repeat and eat every single week, everything else is a piece of cake. Everything else is just down to discipline and consistency, right? But once you have the identity, your standard is to be disciplined and to be consistent. So once you lock all this in, bro, I guarantee in the next 2 months, you'll come back, you'll be a different person. You'll be like, man, I implemented this system. I went up 10 pounds. I went up 5 pounds, right? I'm at 225 on bench. Whatever the case may be, you will hit a new milestone with your physique. Simple. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.